not feel good. It feels a bit rough, actually, because after Newcastle won yesterday, quite a lot of celebrating going on, I think. As Rondon said, hope you enjoyed your Saturday night. I certainly did, and we enjoyed a brilliant away win against Huddersfield. Welcome along to another player ratings for the Always Smiling Faces podcast's YouTube channel, Gallagher Shots, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, we just won 1-0 away from home. Get in! Right. I feel brilliant about this. I hope you feel the same. But we'll start off with the man in the goal, keeping them out, Martin Dubravka. Yep, tested a few times, but there was no real end product from Huddersfield. I think that they struggle more than we do in terms of striking. He never switched off. You know, he had a great acrobatic save from Billing. He really troubled us at times. And their offside goal as well, where thankfully it was ruled out, but just goes to show Dubravka was still saving that even when they were offside. He kept them all out, and what a bargain. What a bargain. 4 million, best keeper that people are saying is outside of the top 6. Best keeper in the Premier League, man. However, 10. Dubravka getting a 10. Come on. Manquillo is up next. You know what, we've seen some real improvement from him over the last few weeks, I've got to admit. He does kind of prefer that wing-back role more than just being an all-out defender at the back. As well, he was covering for Yedlin, he was playing in his natural position, which he looked a lot better in. And, you know, he's made the goal. A great assist from Manquillo. He was shown that attacking quality that we know he does possess, and he can provide it when he was sending off Rondon for the goal. One of his better days, I have to say. 8 for him. We'll move on to Clark. Kieran Clark really pushing for his place in the team. I kind of feel bad that we never included him in the group of players, the defenders certainly, who are all contesting for that centre-back role. Clark is doing a decent job. Yeah, he's a bit quieter than the others. He's not really showing the flair of Cher and what Fernandez has shown in recent weeks, but you know, he was in there. He helped with the clean sheet, plenty of blocks. He looked alert, and there were some vital clearances when Huddersfield came knocking. He's really using his chance as well. Got to give him a 7. Jamal Lascelles, I think he had a better game than he did against Wolves. He kind of grew as the game went on. Maybe lucky to stay on the pitch. You know, there was that tackle that was flying around where got a little bit heated. You know, just doesn't want to lose his head. He doesn't want to look rattled, to be honest. I know he's had a tough few games, and maybe the pressure's getting to him, but you know, he made 9 clearances, really leading from the back. Captain coming back slowly, and it's good that he's going to be pushing for that place. You'd like to think. It's good from him. 7 for Lascelles this week. Cher, just mentioned him there. He looks brilliant. Handsome, bloody bastard he is. And, you know, back in the team after his suspension, came straight back in. The difference he makes is clear. Just be nice if Fernandez and him can have a game again. He held the defence together after the absolute disarray against Wolves, where we just didn't look the same. He looked like he could handle anything, and he's always looking for chances up the top too. You know, it's not very often you see a centre-back who's really pushing to try and get goals. Nice idea with the long-range effort where their keeper was off his line. It might have gone in if he was lucky, and one-on-one with the keeper as well, where it could have been a goal. Maybe he should have passed it into the centre to make it, but you know, it can't really fault him. A centre-back taking a few shots, it's not really something you see. Great game. 9 for me, for sure. Kennedy, right, okay. Probably the lowest rating we're going to get today. Kennedy is still missing something. I don't know what it is or what's gone wrong, but yeah, he wasn't really playing well as a wing-back. It's not his best position, but it wasn't really a game where he could create much magic. Huddersfield really did have us up against it, and I don't know. I really hope Kennedy can show some of it, but maybe it's just one of those games where he just didn't fancy it. We need it constantly, mate, really. Going to have to go down as a 5. He was replaced by Paul Dummett. It's good to see he's back in the team, 89th minute, but, you know, let's give him a 7, shall we? No, maybe not. Atsu, let's move on to him. You know, I can't stress how much he's improved from the start of the season. Normally, it was Atsu coming off the bench, and you'd think, oh, well, he's not going to do anything. Now, he's starting games. He's really been a nuisance for teams. We've seen it in the last few games now. Really causing havoc. He's doing a lot better on the ball, making stuff happen more than what Kennedy is doing. And he was unlucky when he was shooting at goal, getting amongst it constantly, really pushing for it. And, you know, I think his shots do need to be a bit more powerful. A lot of them are usually straight at the keeper, certainly were against Huddersfield. But he looks up for it. Similar again, he teamed up nicely with Perez actually going forward, and it's the best we've seen from him. I'll give him a 7 because you know, maybe should have done a little bit better with some of the stuff. Diarme, like most of the team, he improved in the second half. The first half for us, it wasn't the best, and that's really where we came out firing. Diarme probably he had some strong challenges in there, and it always means that he's given it 100%. I like to see that from him. Dominance of Huddersfield really with the possession meant that Diame wasn't really seen as much. Similar situation against Wolves where they were good at hitting us on the counter-attack, so Diame gets left behind. I'll give him a 6 because he was quite quiet. Key, another standard shown from him. Real heart of the midfield. It's going to be a real shame if Fulham's his last game for us if he goes off to the Asia Cup, but probably the busiest in the centre for us. He looks so composed on the ball. I'm really confident when he does take the ball, and there were some really nice balls in over the top of the Huddersfield defence. The one where he put in Cher, who nearly scored. I'll give Key a 7. Hayden came on, he helped defending when Huddersfield were hammering. A 6 for him because he did play enough. Perez, 2 good games in a row. Can't really fault him this week. Again, hopefully, I hope he can keep it coming each week. We need to see these consistent performances from Ayoze. And, he should have had a goal himself. It wasn't offside. The linesman took forever with the flag. And, all of the replays have shown that really that goal should have stood. And, from the looks of it, he took it quite well. So that's always good. The work he put in paid off. He was doing a little bit of defending. He was winning the ball back. We're seeing a lot more confidence in Perez, I think, certainly in the last few weeks. The work for the goal, he passed it to Manquillo, who eventually put Rondon in. And, yeah, I think he looks good. He did have one chance towards the end where he fluffed it slightly, but can't really be too harsh on him after this game. I'll give him another 8 for Perez. Rondon, oh yes, brilliant, best thing in the world, having a big man up front who loves it. Another cracking goal from the number 9 man, latches onto them. He looks strong going forward. Defenders must be terrified when you see him coming towards you, because all he needs is just one cross, one decent effort where he can get onto it, and that's what happened. Manquillo put the ball in, Rondon took it really well, and it was the winning goal. Nice to see him having a seriously good run. He doesn't look tired. He did go off, but the difference between us and Huddersfield in this game was we had a striker who was actually scoring. They must be so frustrated with Departure going forward. I think none of their strikers have scored for them this year or something, someone was saying. I'll give Rondon an 8. Richie popped on for the final 10 in his place. Didn't follow up on a chance from Perez. That was the one I just mentioned about him fluffing, but it's not really a terrible mistake from Richie. Just part of helping us tide over and get the 3 points. It was a great win. I really, really enjoyed seeing us beat Huddersfield because, Christ, I've wanted to beat them for so long. And as much as we didn't dominate, I don't care how we win. I don't think you do. Do I? Nah. Feels better when, we're not having a nightmare like we did against Wolves at the end last week. We looked as though we were going to cling on with this, even though Huddersfield were pressing. I mean, there was a lot more confidence in the fact that they didn't look like they were going to score. But, we're kicking on against the teams around us. We've pulled away from that pack again. And I just think we're the best of a bad bunch, sadly. I know it's not the way you want to describe your team. But next up, we've got Fulham. That's going to be massive, I think, because, Fulham could cause an upset. It's the type of game where they might come and think, right, well, what have we got to lose? And they need to win, to be honest. Videos will be coming up in the week for all of the build-up. Make sure you see the Lee Clark video as well. Fantastic little chat with him, and the guys were thrilled to have him on the podcast. Check everything out, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you after, hopefully, a game where Alexander Mitrovic doesn't make us cry.